Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Amanda, and today I have 3 yummy recipes for you. I hope you guys love them because we definitely did. Without further ado, let's get cooking. Okay, so this first recipe is called a classic meatloaf. You're going to need 1 pound of ground beef, half cup chopped bell pepper, I just use the whole thing, half cup chopped onion, then you are going to add a half cup of barbecue sauce, whatever you choose. Now you don't want to put all of the barbecue sauce in this meat mixture because we will be adding some of it to the top of the meatloaf when it's almost done cooking. Now we are going to add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. After that, you are going to add in 1 egg. Now you're going to take 1 sleeve saltine crackers, take your rolling pin and start beating it. I ended up having to put it in a baggie because it was starting to come out of the other bag. But after you add that, then you are just going to add salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder to taste. After that is all done, now you are going to take your casserole dish, and you do want it to be greased, and then we're just going to mix up the mixture and then put it in there and kind of, make it just like a meatloaf, pile it together and everything like that, and then we are going to throw it in the oven. Now that that is done and the meatloaf is covered, we are going to put it in the oven and we are going to bake it for 2 hours. So I'm going to take the meatloaf out about a half hour before it's done. And I'm going to uncover it, check the temperature, and then put the rest of the barbecue sauce on, and then cook it for the remainder minutes that's left on the stove. Now the meatloaf is done, and you guys, this smells so good and looks so delicious. And I just made mashed potatoes and carrots on the side, and this is actually the second time that we have made this, and we absolutely love it. So you need to make this. I promise you guys will love it. Now for our second recipe, we are going to make baked garlic shrimp scampi. So this is a Pinterest recipe, and I will say that the video and then the actual recipe that they have on their website does not add up whatsoever, but I will link below the actual recipe that I used. So now you are going to take your dish and you are going to spray it, and then you are going to add 1 pound of shrimp, peeled and deveined. So I did want to mention that after I preheated the oven, I got a pot of water on the stove ready to boil for my noodles. Now back to the shrimp, we are going to add 6 cloves of minced garlic. Then you are going to add juice of half of a lemon, and then 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. Now you are going to add a 1/3 cup of broth. The recipe does call for seafood broth. We could not find it at Kroger's or Walmart, so we just used chicken broth. Now you are going to add 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and then salt and pepper to taste. So now that everything is mixed up, I am going to try and spread the shrimp out some, so all of it is touching the bottom of the pan. And then we are going to put it in the oven. And as I put it in the oven, I went ahead and put my noodles into the boiling pot of water and then cooked both of those for 10 minutes. So like I said, the video doesn't add up to what the instructions and ingredients and everything says on their website. And also the directions don't add up with the ingredients. So after I put everything in the oven, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot the 4 tablespoons of melted butter and 1 small shallot chopped. And I just went ahead and threw it in there and tried to mix it up a little bit. But I don't know why it calls for it in the ingredients, but then in the instructions of it, it says nothing about it. So I'm guessing this is where it goes. It didn't ruin the dish. This is actually the second time that we have made this. So yeah, if you make this, definitely try and remember this part here. So now that my noodles are done, I'm going to drain them and then I am going to pull out the shrimp. Now that the shrimp is done, we are going to add a 1/3 cup of heavy cream, a 1/4 cup of fresh chopped parsley, and then 1 cup of Parmesan cheese shredded. So as you can see, I did not add all the cheese, and that's just because I wanted to have some as a garnish. And now you are just going to add your noodles. The recipe did call for a 10-ounce box of spaghetti noodles, and I could not find a 10-ounce box. So I think I did add too much noodles in here, but that's okay. It was so delicious. And then once you add in your noodles, you're just going to get it all mixed up. So I will say that this does look pretty watery, but the longer it set, it did thicken up a little bit. But we just made some garlic bread on the side and it was delicious. Like I said, this was the second time that we made this. I made this on Father's Day and Tyler loved it. It is so good. Now for our third and final yummy recipe. This is called To Die For Cowboy Chicken. So you're going to need 2 pounds of chicken breast, and on top of the chicken breast, I added 1 tablespoon of this zesty Italian seasoning mix. Okay, so here I have the black-eyed peas drained and rinsed, black beans drained and rinsed, a 1/2 cup of corn, a 1/4 cup of sweet onion, a 1/4 cup of jalapeno. The recipe does call for jarred jalapeno, but we use fresh jalapeno, 1/2 cup of red bell pepper, and a can of fire roasted tomatoes, and then 3 garlic cloves, and I threw in a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and a lemon, the juice of it, the whole entire thing, and then I'm just going to pour the rest of this in there and then just get this all mixed up and then put it on top of the chicken. So I totally forgot to clean out my oven after I did the self-cleaning mode, so please don't judge me. But we're going to put this in the oven and cook it for about 45 to 50 minutes. But when it only had like 5 minutes left, I ended up pulling it out of the oven, putting Colby Jack cheese on it, and then putting it back into the oven for the remaining 5 minutes. So I will say this is pretty watery. I mean, it has tomatoes, the chicken alone, but if you do make this, use a slotted spoon to get everything out. And then I just put the mixture over top of some white rice, added some more cheese, and then some fresh chopped cilantro. So good. It kind of reminded me of the Chipotle bowls that they have there. But if you guys like this video, give this a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you tried these recipes, let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.